today we are going to talk about the BRRRS method. Lucas and I have used this strategy, listen to this, to buy over 150 single-family rentals, to buy 6 apartment complexes, to buy 3 self-storage facilities, and to buy a hotel, motel, Holiday Inn,
and our office building.
And our office building. Yeah. So this strategy can be used for any type of real estate. The only thing you needed to be able to do is add equity and have it cash flow, and you can make this work. So the method stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and scale. So that's the BRRRS method: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and scale. It is a very, very powerful strategy that allows you to buy rental properties using none of your own money if you do it the right way.
I love it. Like you said, man, we've done this a lot. We're not experts at a lot of things, but this is fucking one of them.
Correct.
So
yes.
Let's rock and roll on this. This is going to be fun.
I don't know anybody that's done more BRRRS deals than we have. I know people that know more real estate than us, that flip more, that wholesale more. I don't know anybody that does more of these strategies than us. That's why we have.
And we're still doing it. You know, we just closed on a rental yesterday, just executed a refinance on the back end of a BRRRS 2 weeks ago. Like, we're constantly doing these and constantly improving our methods so we can get more equity in deal and have more cash flow and fine-tuning our processes.
Yeah, it's something that we believe in, and this is why this is the foundation of a coaching community that has 1,600 students that own $220-something million in real estate.
Is that a lot, you think?
Yeah, is that good?
Is that good?
So, all right, let's rock with it. I eventually probably get the clicker, but we're good for now. So, kind of the pros and cons. Let's go over it. So, the pros are you can use none of your own money to do it. You can scale way faster. Even if you make good money, which we to some degree are right now, it is still not scalable. We don't make enough money to put 20% down on 40 single-family houses this year and 2 apartment complexes that we want to buy or whatever we're going to do this year. So it allows you to scale much faster and kind of build that retirement fund faster because you can do it using none of your own money. And real estate doubles in value every 15 years. So look at the historic stats. I know that sounds crazy, but it's 100% true. It more than doubles in value most 15-year segments, but that means from 1950 to 1965, real estate doubled. That means from 1960 to 1975, real estate doubled. Every 15 years, real estate doubles in value. So if you don't have money to buy real estate, borrow the fucking money to buy real estate.
Yeah.
And then it can help you leave a legacy for your kids. Why don't you go over some cons, Walls?
Yeah, so, utilizing the BRRRS strategy, you do put debt on the property, and if you're not using debt smart, it can consume you and get you in trouble. So you got to make sure each one of these deals cash flow, and you're sitting at a very safe LTV position at 75 to 80% to start, and then you'll start paying down the debt from there, and your LTV position will only get better and better and better over time. But initially, you got to be sitting safe. If the market turns a little bit, you don't want to be upside down on that loan because a lot of bad things can happen from there. So use your debt smart. There is good debt out there, I believe, but it's got to be used not recklessly. This says you need to talk to people. Relationship is key. So in general, I would focus that more on, the finding deals. Like, finding distressed properties is not as easy as going on the MLS and making 20% down offers. You're going to have to build a relationship. It's going to take some energy. It's going to take some work. Going to take some hustling to find those deals. And then that's just the first part of it. That's just the B, right? And then you got to execute and build relationships for the rest of the BRRRS process as well. And then interest rates. We talked about that debt and your debt balance on each particular house. 2 years ago, you could go get money at a 4.5% interest rate, right? And that was less than the rate of inflation was over the past couple of years. So
it's free money, basically.
It was free money, and actually, it almost the opposite. Almost you get paid to take out that mortgage, which is crazy to think about it that way. But theoretically, that's what it is. But as inflation has increased, so is the interest rates. So those interest rates are much higher these days, 8% a lot of times on those commercial loans. So it's a lot harder to find these deals that cash flow without putting actual money into the deal. So you need to make sure those deals pencil out before you go make offers.
Yeah, no, it's just a investing strategy that has risk, like all investing strategies, but if done the right way, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is, I feel like, so much bigger than most other investing strategies, especially because of the number one thing, leverage. You don't have to use any of your own money. You can't really buy stocks without using your own money. Yeah,
you borrow money, but that asset is yours. You own it 100%, and you get to utilize all the tax benefits of it. Your bank doesn't get any tax benefits of it just because they have the loan on it. It's your tax benefits. It's your equity. It's your cash flow.
Yep, it's your asset. Nice. All right, on to the next one. So the first step is the buy step. So the key is finding a distressed property, Walls. So getting a distressed property under contract is key. So you got to buy it first, and you can use other people's money to do it, obviously. But let's talk about some sources to source some of these distressed properties, because there's so many distressed properties out there. It's way bigger than most people think. It's one of those things where, the percentage is low, but the numbers are still high because real estate investing and real estate in general is such a big industry. So real estate agents are a great source. Most agents, Lucas, are going to, a good agent's going to do 15 to 20 transactions a year, maybe, to pretty active agent.
Yeah.
Like on the buy and sell side. And one or two of those for a good agent are going to be like a hoarder house or a distressed fixer-upper, handyman special, something that needs updating that won't pass code. They bring that to you. Wholesalers, they go out and they look for properties that are distressed. They do it, they find it, and they don't want to close on it, so they mark it up and sell it to you. You can drive for dollars. I'm driving around looking for that. We got a Batch Leads affiliate that'll give you a free code to drive for dollars on that. And you can just talk to other people in the industry. So finding the distressed properties is honestly not that hard if you just talk to wholesalers and agents. You just have to be willing to do that.
Yeah, I think if you're wholesaling properties, which is not what this segment is about, you got to do a little more digging to find those deals at a deep enough discount so you have some room to wholesale. But if you're the end buyer as a rehabber or a BRRRS landlord, then you have a little more flexibility to buy directly from wholesalers. Let them go do all the hustling and grinding, and you just build that relationship with them and buy it on the back end.
Yeah, and we're going through this kind of quickly here on purpose, but make sure to go to freerentalwebinar.com in the future, and that's it's a 20-minute, a little bit deeper dive into this. So you make your money when you buy the property, Lucas. So you make your money when you buy at the discount. So you're going to want to buy at a percentage, usually 20 to 30% below market value, future market value minus repair. So you got to find this discounted distressed property. It's not listed on the MLS. There's no comparables for it. You just have to make sure you're buying it at a discount.
For sure. So that's the quick formula is ARV, which stands for after repair value, what it's worth after it's fixed up, times 75% of that value minus your estimated rehab costs, and that's what you want to buy it for.
For sure. So buy at a discount, and just understand that what you're doing is you're helping the community. It's so funny, or I don't know if funny is the right word for it, Lou, but it's one of those things where a lot of people that don't understand it think that like we're screwing over the housing supply. They don't understand that we're helping the community. We're taking a distressed, non-livable property for the most part and making it livable and selling it or renting it. So it's helping the community, and no one could argue with me and tell me that it's not.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. All right, on to the next. We got the rehab. So this is what you do. You bring the property value up. You update it, put cabinets, flooring, remodeling. You put a lot of different things into the property to make it livable, to increase the value. So this is something that we don't need to spend a ton of time on. We're getting ready to bring on our subject matter expert, Dusty, in rehabbing, so we'll wait a little bit on that. But basically, you increase the value by making it nice and livable so there's equity enough for the next couple steps.
Yeah, absolutely. You want that equity. You want to force that equity. You could do the work. You could hire it out. It doesn't matter. As long as the work's getting done, so you can prove that you put some sort of money and value into that asset. You can prove to the bank what you'll need to do as we get to some of these later steps.
Nice. Awesome. All right. On to the next one. The rent. So you bought it, you rehabbed it, now you get it rented. And this is where even some of the negatives, Lucas, of the higher interest rate, this is where you can get flexible. This is like, it's all fun, but to me, this is like where you have different levels. So levers to pull. So getting it higher interest rates, long-term rentals, you're getting the lowest rent per month, that route. It's the most steady income. It's what we mainly have, but interest rates have made that tougher. Now with midterm rentals or short-term rentals, you can just rent it out on a nightly basis, on a monthly basis, or a yearly basis to kind of interchange what type of cash flow will allow you to be positive.
Yeah, and you would think, this is a question for you, if you're going the short-term rental route like the Airbnb, VRBO, or the midterm rental route like the traveling nurses and professionals and displaced insurance people, those require you to furnish your house or your apartment.
Correct.
Unit, whereas a long-term rental, they bring the furniture. It's just a vacant thing. So there is some cost associated with furnishing. So would you think you want to know what exit strategy when you're going in to make an offer on the house?
I would think so, especially, at minimum, know what you're going to do before you refinance it. Because you can always, add some furniture to it. And if you buy it deep enough, it's about $3 to $5 a square foot to furnish a property decently. So you can potentially, during the rehab, figure that out that you're going to do that. But ideally, it would be before, so you can build in that $5 to $10 grand of furniture, whatever it's going to cost.
Yeah, and I always run my numbers from a long-term perspective still.
Yeah.
Like long-term, you don't furnish it. Is it going to cash flow or break even, make a little money on a long-term scenario? Then if it's going to do that, you're in a great position for an MTR or an STR. But if you buy off of MTR and STR numbers, it limits your exit strategy, therefore multiplies your risk a little bit in my eyes.
Yeah, so if it works for a long-term rental, it'll work for the other two. Now you got to be specific about location. Certain one of our rentals would not make good long or short-term rentals. But Dusty, is the on-air sign on out there or not? Above the door out there? Okay, just checking, seeing how professional we really are. Let's see. It's on? Okay. All right. I got the middle finger. I don't know what that means. Cool. All right. So another couple quick tips on this is be landlords, not slumlords. Like, of course, there are bad landlords out there. We call them slumlords. In any industry, there's bad, people or bad, business strategies. So take care of your tenant, take care of your property, do things the right way. And it's very ironic to me. The tenant or the people that are slumlords, they don't care about their tenant. They don't care about cash flow. They let the property go to hell. They don't take care of their tenants because they want cash flow. But they technically cash flow less by doing that because of the turnover and the cost and the lack of property value growth. But if you spend extra time and energy taking care of your property and the tenant, you'll end up cash flowing more. So it's the exact opposite they want is what they achieve.
Yeah, you want that tenant to stay in there, pretty damn long, right? There's probably a sweet spot. You probably don't want to stay in there for 30 years. You probably want them to stay in there.
I like that 5, that fizzy.
That 5 to 10 is probably the sweet spot. So you don't fall behind on rent with renewals, but you're not spending money on turnover every single year, every 2 years, because like you said, that's the most expensive part of the game. So if you can keep them happy, respond to maintenance requests quickly, communicate, I think they're apt to stay in there a longer period of time.
Agreed. Cool. So definitely just make sure you work through all that. And so the next step, which is a very important step, is the refinance step. Lucas, want to talk through that a little bit?
Yes, Sam.
Do it then.
Right. So, so the refinance part, this is what makes it all possible. You buy the house on the front end with some sort of short-term money. It could be your own cash, it could be from your own HELOC, it could be from a private lender, could be from a hard money lender. So you buy it up front, rehab it up front with some short-term funding, usually around that 6 months, 3 to 12 months probably for most people it's going to take. And then you want to refinance out that short-term money with some sort of long-term debt. So you'll take your rehabbed property to a bank. We like to use local banks that understand the BRRRR strategy in general. There's a lot of banks in our area that know this product and like to lend on this product, but there's more banks in our area that have no idea what this is. So it's not worth trying to convince them that this is a good idea for them. Find a bank that already likes this and go to them. They will, you work with them. They'll send an appraiser out to your property and meet that appraiser there, show them why you think it's worth what it's worth. They'll put a value on the property, and then the bank will give you a check for 80% of the value of the property, and then you'll start paying monthly mortgage payments on that 80% bank debt balance.
Couple things. Do you think it's odd that the lettering we picked, everything is uppercase except the I's? Is that maybe because the L's are that's interesting, right?
Refinance.
Well, I mean, no, you can just because it's a lowercase doesn't mean you pronounce it differently.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Dusty, how do you got no shoelaces in your shoes? What are you, a freaking, who's your shoeless Joe Jackson over here? We'll get him on here in a minute. Anyways.
When I call you Samuel, I lowercase and uppercase some different letters there. I think it just helps pronunciate.
It does not.
It helps me. Samuel.
Well,
Samuel.
You need a lot more fucking help than that.
Capital S, lowercase A, M, capital U.
All right, onto the
E,
scale.
capital L, Samuel.
Thank you for that. On to the scale portion. This is one of my. This is something that we created a couple years ago. So the BRRRR, for those that don't know, and thank you, Dominic, for the chat there on Facebook. He says so informative.
For the Samuel chat.
That was well before your stupid Samuel rant. But anyways, this is so the BRRRR method. The BRRRR method's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But Bigger Pockets, and I think Brandon had a big part of that. Brandon Turner. It was the BRRRR. It was buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. And repeat to me is not quite as teeth sink-inable is my perfect word for that, with a lowercase e's in that. And it just like repeat, but we made it scale because most people want to do it again, and we created a process to scale. So go through this quickly, then we'll have our guest on next. So the scales process it stands for systems, coaching, action, lead source, and extra funding. Lucas, let's walk through that. I'll go through the first one. So systems, if you want to scale and do things at higher volume, which is scaling, you have to create systems around it. You're not going to be able to find new contractors every time and rehab quickly. You just get systems around getting good contractors and sticking with them. You're not going to be able to buy a ton of properties unless you have systems around buying property. So systems and processes will help you scale.
Yeah. Next one is coaching and community. This could be done before your first one as well, so or after. So getting around the right people, the right environment, the right mentors is going to help you limit your mistakes and be able to add to your portfolio much more stress-free. If you try to do this all on your own, you can. Probably, right? But you're gonna make a lot of mistakes and lose a lot of money, just like Sam and I did.
Yes, we did.
But if you get around the right people that have been through that already, they can help you limit those mistakes and and also be that like cheerleader for you, because times do get tough sometimes.
Yep.
So they can be there to have your back and keep pushing, because there is light at the end of the tunnel.
For sure, I'm way closer to my mic than you are. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but the A stands for action. Like, you just have to go out and take action. It's the fun part, but it's the part that moves the needle the most, Lucas. Like, I remember, yes, moves the needle. I remember, like, you and I didn't know what we were doing, but we went to the local meetup. We went and made offers. We didn't know what we were doing, but we actioned our way through it. So just taking action will allow you to make those pivots, because you're only going to be able to learn 80% of it by doing it. The other 20% by sitting on the sideline. So quick question from Shane while we're working through here.
Yeah, for Dusty here in a
Will
second.
you be covering how to vet contractors? 100%. Dusty
Yeah.
will get into that for sure. Dusty knows one guy for everything.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a guy.
So taking action is like, it's fun, but it's like the only step. I feel like you can try it without systems and you can try it on your own, but you can't do it without action. It's the only 100% necessary step.
For sure. Next bullet is lead sources. Either go deeper in the current lead sources you have, or go wider, or both.
I do both. Lucas doesn't do either.
No, I try to stay as shallow and skinny as possible. Anyway, are we still live? Yes, we are. Let's keep rolling.
Let's not get kicked out on our first show.
The point of this bullet is, if you want to continue to build to your rental portfolio, you need some sort of consistent deal flow, or lead flow. I'm sorry. You don't have to buy every single one, but the more leads that come across your plate, the more people you have sending you possible deals, the more you can analyze and get better, and the better shot you have at picking out the best property for you out of 10 leads or 20 leads, whatever it is. If you only get sent one lead a month, you don't have a lot to choose from, so you might have to go stretch and make more mistakes. If you get 10 leads a month, you have a lot better houses to choose from and build a better quality portfolio.
It's just a numbers game.
Yeah.
Is the biggest thing about it. You got the more at the top of the funnel, the more come out the bottom of the funnel. All right, extra funding. We'll leave that one alone. Extra funding. So the last part is the E. So getting extra funding sources. Like, if you want to scale, you're going to need 3 or 4 private lenders, 2 or 3 hard money lenders, and a couple small local banks to deal with. You just need multiple places to go to get the funding to do the deals if you want to scale. Every single step of this is assuming you want to scale and do more volume. So that's the way to do it. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed that segment. If you're watching us on YouTube, the cut out of this, make sure you're following and subscribing and commenting and all the fun stuff. Appreciate all the comments that we see through coming right now.